Good evening and welcome to the Sunday's edition of News Tonight. I'm Ashwarya Kapoor with you. Let us begin with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicates the Burnpur ISCO steel plant to the nation, pitches federalism in the company of West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Three fresh tremors trigger widespread panic in Nepal. Avalanches and landslides hamper rescue work in many areas. Bollywood personalities gather to watch veteran actor and filmmaker Shashi Kapoor being presented the Dada Sahab Phalke Award. And Houthis agreed to a 5-day humanitarian ceasefire in Yemen. Saudi coalition warns deal will be called off if rebels take military advantage of the situation. Our top story: on the second day of his visit to West Bengal, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the modernized ISCO steel plant in Burnpur. He also reached out to the states, saying that they should work together to resolve national problems. Now, Modi cited the Indo-Bangla land boundary agreement as the spirit of Team India, which should guide the partnership between the centre and the states. Take a look.
Sharing the stage with the BJP's rival in West Bengal, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday batted for a Team India where states worked with the centre.
सारे विश्व के लिए भारत की संसद का ये निर्णय, टीम इंडिया का ये निर्णय, केंद्र और राज्य के साथ मिलकर के चलने के प्रयास का परिणाम कि आज समस्याएं दुनिया के किसी देश के साथ भी सुलझाई जा सकती है.
The Prime Minister said it was a misfortune that past tensions had clouded relations between states and the centre. He also took a dig at the previous UP regime, saying the media was full of reports on all kinds of scams in that period.
अखबार में खबर आती है तो क्या आती है? कोयले के घोटाले की खबर नहीं आती है. खबर आती है तो कोयले की नीलामी की खबर आती है. और 1,76,000 करोड़ के घोटाले को निकल करके आज 3 लाख करोड़ रुपया सरकारी खजाने में जमा होने का खबर आता है.
In her address, Mamata Banerjee recalled the former association of Trinamool Congress with the BJP. She said it helped the state to get a Bengal package and today modernization of ISCO.
जब एक साथ में हम काम कर सकते हैं तो कंट्री आगे बढ़ता है, और जब हम बंटवारा करते हैं तो कंट्री टूट जाता है. राजनीति रहेगा, डेवलपमेंट भी रहेगा, फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर भी रहेगा, सेंट्रल स्ट्रक्चर भी रहेगा. हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का मुताबिक एक साथ में हम काम करेगा तो यूनिटी इज आवर स्ट्रेंथ एंड डिवाइड इज फॉल, एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव टू स्ट्रेंथन आवर यूनिटी.
On Sunday, reports said Modi and Mamata had a meeting where she made a fresh pitch for a debt waiver for Bengal. On Sunday, Modi also spent time at the Belur Mutt, the headquarters of the Ramakrishna Mutt and mission founded by Swami Vivekanand. Modi spent about 20 minutes meditating inside the room where Swami Vivekanand lived. He also interacted with the monks present at the institution. Bureau report for Rajya Sabha Television.
Now, Monday will be a crucial day for former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha. The Karnataka High Court is all set to pronounce its verdict on her appeal against her conviction in the disproportionate assets case. The High Court will also give its verdict on 3 others. Now, Jayalalitha and 3 others filed an appeal against the Special Court Judge Michael D. Kunha's verdict last year, sentencing them to 4 years in jail and imposing a fine of 100 crore rupees on Jayalalitha and 10 crore rupees each on the 3 others. Now, news from Chhattisgarh, where the Maoists released over 200 villagers that they had abducted on Friday night from Sukma village. The villagers have returned to their homes. The Maoists had reportedly taken the villagers to warn them against taking part in the government projects. Now, Marega villager Sadaram Nag, who was overseeing the construction of a culvert, was killed. Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh told State Chief Minister Raman Singh to take immediate action after the incident.
हम लोग जाते जाते वहाँ सवेरे हो गया. फिर उसके बाद ना थोड़ी देर लेटे थे. फिर उसके बाद फिर से आए. ऐसी दोपहर को ऐसी क्या क्या पूछताछ कर रहे थे. बहुत सारा मतलब गांव वाले को ना कि धमका के पूछ रहे थे क्या मीटिंग बनाते हो, क्या करते हो. गांव वाले तब पर से भी बोले कि हम लोग मीटिंग नहीं बनाते हैं. फिर भी बोले तुम लोग झूठ बोलते हो बोल के ना एक जन भैया को ना 3 डंडा मारे.
उधर अलग अलग गैंग करके रखे थे. फिर एक साथ उधर और उन लोगों के गैंग वाले आए और एक साथ जाड़मन के किनारे नीचे पूरा इकट्ठा हुए, वहाँ बाजार टाइप बहुत सारे लोग थे वहाँ।
कितने लोग रहे होंगे?
बहुत गिनती नहीं था सर। गांव वाले दूसरे गांव वाले भी थे।
और नक्सलाइट कितने थे?
नक्सलाइट तो 100 से पार थे। सदाराम को पूछताछ किए ना, एक साथ बैठ आए थे। फिर पूछने के बाद कई लोग को ऐसी डंडा और जापड़ से मारे, लात मुटका दिए। उसके बाद ना उसको लास्ट तक बैठाए थे। सबको मार पड़ने के बाद उसको लास्ट में मारना चालू किया, एकदम जान से ही मार दी।
News from the national capital. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal came under sharp attack today for a controversial government circular that threatened action against the media for defamatory news. Now, both the Congress and the BJP called the move anti-democratic.
Delhi Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal is in the middle of yet another controversy. This time over a diktat to sue media organizations for what his administration claims defamatory reports against the government or its ministers. According to the State Information and Publicity Department circular, all officials associated with the Delhi government have been asked to lodge a complaint with the Principal Secretary Home if they came across any news item that allegedly damages the reputation of the Chief Minister or the government. Opposition parties have come out strongly against what they are calling the height of hypocrisy.
When there is criticism against the government, when the wrongdoings of the government were exposed by the media, the Chief Minister is taking objection to that. That shows his anti-democratic attitude of the Chief Minister. He should understand that he is one person, came to limelight by criticizing others rightly and sometimes even wrongly also.
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal wants one set of rules and laws for himself and his party, and he wants everybody else in the country to be governed by other rules and laws. He wants to enjoy the freedom of speech, unfettered freedom of speech, but he wants everybody else throat to be throttled. I think this is not, this is the height of hypocrisy.
Other parties voiced similar views. Several leaders called it an attack on the freedom of press. After coming to power, this is not the first time Arvind Kejriwal has shown hostility towards the media. A few days back, the Aam Aadmi Party chief launched a direct attack on the press, saying a large section had taken what he called a contract to finish off his party. His remarks were strongly condemned. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And more news from across the nation in Nationwide. A Delhi court will hear arguments in a case in which Congress leader Jagdish Thakur and businessman Abhishek Verma allegedly sent a forged letter to then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh in the year 2009. The CBI charged them both under the Prevention of Corruption Act. The court will hear the arguments on 28th of May. The Hyderabad police arrested 7 teenagers in connection with the death of a 17-year-old boy. The boy died after sustaining injuries in a WWF-style neighborhood wrestling match. The teenagers tried to project it as a road accident. The incident came to light on Sunday after the family of the victim filed a complaint with the police. A 15-year-old girl died in Greater Noida on Saturday after she was set on fire for resisting a rape attempt by her uncle, who was allegedly blackmailing and sexually assaulting her for the past 8 months. The family claims that he was blackmailing the girl for money, saying he had incriminating video clips of her. The police have arrested 4 people so far. Alright, we'll slip into a very short break here. On the other side, Typhoon Nol hits North Philippines. Thousands flee their homes. Details after a short break. Stay with us.
Hello and a warm welcome to It's My Life. This week we are in the Jharkhand of Haryana tracking the youngest parliamentarian, Dushyant Chautala.
Watch me on It's My Life, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching News Tonight. Let's move on in the bulletin now. Now, fresh tremors jolted Nepal, causing panic among the people. Massive landslides and avalanches in the Himalayan region have also hampered relief work in the devastated country, as the death toll there has neared 8,000. Take a look.
3 aftershocks jolted Nepal on Sunday, causing panic and hampering relief work. The aftershocks were felt in the worst affected district of Sindhupal Chowk. Over 156 tremors with magnitude of 4 or more have struck Nepal in the 15 days since the devastating earthquake.
Shocks after coming, it came there and people were fighting and they left these places which was dangerous and they went to restart to other places.
The United Nations says the earthquake affected 80 lakh, Nepal's 2.8 crore population. 30 lakh affected people are in dire need of tents, water, food and medicines. About 5 lakh houses are damaged or destroyed.
We are very scared. What to do, where to go. All houses are cracked. My house is also cracked.
They are not getting shelter, food, water. So I think it takes time, 3 or 4 months.
The cost of the first phase of reconstruction is estimated to cost $2 billion. The Nepal government says it has set aside $200 million for the work. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And a 5-day humanitarian ceasefire agreement has been reached in Yemen between the Saudi Arabia coalition forces and the Houthi rebels there. Now, this came even as the conflict intensified over the last 3 days. Saudi forces conducted airstrikes, fired artillery, and they launched at least 24 rockets in Sada and other Houthi strongholds, causing the civilians there to scramble for safe areas. Yemen's Houthi rebels agreed on Sunday to a 5-day humanitarian ceasefire proposed by Saudi Arabia. The proposal is backed by Washington, which has so far provided logistical support but not carried out airstrikes. It also, however, warned that the truce will be broken if Houthis made any move to exploit it for military advantage.
اطلعت معاليه على تفكير المملكة في أن يكون هناك وقف لإطلاق النار لمدة 5 أيام في اليمن للتنسيق مع المنظمات الدولية.
We particularly welcome a new Saudi initiative to try to bring about a peaceful resolution through the announcement of their intent to establish a full 5-day renewable ceasefire and humanitarian pause. No bombing, no shooting, no movement or repositioning of troops to achieve military advantage.
In the recent past, Saudi Arabia intensified its airstrikes, with its warplanes carrying out 130 airstrikes in the last 24 hours. Airstrikes also targeted the home of former President Ali Abdullah Saleh in the capital Sana'a early on Sunday. The former president, who is allied to the Houthi rebels, is said to be unharmed. Riyadh has called on civilians to evacuate the province in a move that has drawn criticism from the United Nations. It warned that the indiscriminate bombing of populated areas was against international law.
يوم أمس قيادة التحالف والقوات الجوية السعودية نفذت 130 طلعة منذ ساعة 1900 يوم أمس إلى وقت إعداد هذا المؤتمر. طالت أكثر من 100 هدف في كل من صعدة ومران والبقع والشريط الحدودي بين المملكة والجمهورية اليمنية. Supported by the US, the Saudi-led coalition started airstrikes against the Houthis and army units loyal to former President Saleh on 26th of March. The Houthis say their campaign is aimed at defeating Al-Qaeda militants based in Yemen and accuse Hadi's forces of supporting the group. More than a month of bombing by Saudi-led coalition has caused severe shortages of food, medicine and fuel in the country. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And news from Southeast Asia now. Thousands of people were evacuated and ports closed in the northeastern Philippines in anticipation of Super Typhoon Nole,
which made landfall in the main island of Luzon this afternoon. Now, this typhoon threatens to batter several provinces with ferocious winds, torrential rains, and it could bring flash floods and landslides in mountainous areas.
Over 1,200 people were evacuated from northeast Philippines as Super Typhoon Noel made landfall on Sunday afternoon over the main island of Luzon. The storm strengthened into a super typhoon as it whirled towards the northeast of the country, prompting warnings of flooding and landslides. Typhoon Noel, also known as Dudong, is now a Category 5 storm, packing winds of up to 185 km per hour near the center, with gusts of up to 220 km per hour.
Inaasahan po natin na mayang hapon at gabi ay maaari po maglandfall sa Santa Ana Point, Cagayan. At itong bagyong ito ay
The rough seas caused by the storm prompted many vessel ships to take shelter in ports, leaving more than 5,000 people stranded across the nation. Several flights were cancelled and relief supplies moved in. Some relief items have been distributed.
Pagka sa ngayon, ayos lang. Nakakapag-ano po sana kami hindi itong hangin at ulan. Maganda lang sana dahil lantak na.
Focused preemptive evacuation kung kailangan na gawin ng LGU, and the prepositioned heavy equipment to clear the roads immediately para maano po natin. Then we continue monitoring it.
Over roughly 2 days, Noel could dump as much as 20 inches of rain on some areas, especially in mountainous areas. Noel has been menacing northeast Philippines at a time when a volcano, Mount Bulusan, is spewing ash in southern Luzon. About 20 storms and typhoons hit the Philippines annually. The strongest on record to make landfall, Typhoon Haiyan, devastated the central Philippines in November 2013, claiming over 7,300 lives. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And on to Europe now. Poland is voting for a new head of state in the first round of presidential elections. The opinion polls have put incumbent Bronislaw Komorowski in the lead. However, if no candidate wins more than 50% of the vote, there will be a second round. A comfortable re-election for Komorowski would give a confidence boost to his allies in the centre-right Polish government. 62-year-old Komorowski took office 5 years ago after his predecessor Kaczynski died in a plane crash. Now, his main challenger is Andrzej Duda from the right-wing opposition Law and Justice Party, which is led by former President Kaczynski's twin brother, Jarosław.
Serdecznie zachęcam wszystkich do wzięcia udziału w głosowaniu, w wyborach. Jakby nie było, to jest jakieś święto polskiej demokracji. Jest to zawsze okazja nie tylko do wyrażenia swoich sympatii politycznych, ale również do zaznaczenia swojego pozytywnego stosunku do demokracji.
And for more international news and updates, here is the Global Buzz. 2 traffic police officers were shot dead in Hattiesburg in Mississippi. The police arrested 2 suspects who used a police vehicle to flee that was later found abandoned. The shooting took place when an officer was conducting a routine traffic stop, while a second one arrived to provide a backup. Former Turkish President Kenan Evren died at the age of 97 at a military hospital in Ankara. He was pronounced dead later on Saturday. Evren dominated the Turkish political landscape for decades, but he was sentenced to life in jail in June 2014 for leading a 1980 coup that resulted in widespread torture, arrests and deaths. 4 crew members were killed and 2 others seriously injured when a military transport plane crashed near Seville Airport in southwest Spain. Airbus A400M, which was undergoing flight trials at the airport, raised questions about the security of the brand new aircraft. Now, Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy was the first to confirm the crash, offering his condolences to the families of the all-Spanish crew. Well, another short break here, but on the other side, veteran actor Shashi Kapoor conferred with the Dada Saheb Phalke Award in Mumbai. More on that when we return. Keep watching Rajya Sabha TV.
अभी मेलोडी का दिन चले गए, खाली रिदम चाहिए और नॉइज। वर्ड्स का तो कोई मतलब ही नहीं रहा, ऐसे कचरे कचरे गंदी गंदी बात, ये क्या वर्ड्स है?
तुम्हारे बिन जीना लगे।
मिलिए गुफ्तगू में इस बार मशहूर कंपोजर वनराज भाटिया से, सिर्फ राज्यसभा टीवी पर।
Welcome back after the break. Let's move on now. Now, veteran actor Shashi Kapoor was conferred the prestigious Dada Sahab Phalke Award in Mumbai today. Information and Broadcasting Minister Arun Jaitley presented the award at the Prithvi Theatre, which was set up by his father Prithvi Raj Kapoor. Now, ill health had prevented Shashi Kapoor from travelling to Delhi for the 62nd National Award ceremony that happened on 3rd of May.
All roads led to the Prithvi Theatre for the film fraternity in Mumbai on Sunday, where they witnessed the presentation of the Dada Sahab Phalke Award. 77-year-old Shashi Kapoor became the third Kapoor to get the industry's highest honour after a film career spanning over 4 decades.
An actor par excellence, who in his time competed with the very best and almost competed to different generations of film actors and carved out a niche for himself. Produced, directed various kinds of film. Combined commercial cinema with alternative cinema. Defied languages. Brought Hindi cinema in Hollywood closer, and then didn't leave his love for the theatre. And it's only a fitting tribute that he couldn't attend the function in New Delhi at Vigyan Bhavan. So the award is being physically and symbolically conferred on him in an institution that he himself created, the Prithvi Theatre.
With folded hands, a beaming Shashi Kapoor greeted the huge gathering that included all members of the Kapoor family. Others present included megastar Amitabh Bachchan, his son Abhishek, actresses Rekha, Shabana Azmi, Hema Malini, Wahida Rahman, Asha Parekh and many others.
बहुत खुशी हुई कि शशि जी को ये पुरस्कार मिला है और थोड़ा जल्दी मिलता तो ज़्यादा अच्छा था, मगर जिस जगह पे मिला है, जिस पे मिला है, वो और भी ज़्यादा अच्छा है.
Thank you so much, Shashi ji, for being just who you are. A most caring and compassionate human, a wonderful colleague, and a caring and a very generous friend.
Greater thing can a human being do in order to be true to his own passion and profession.
His contribution, his performances, his work for new age cinema, his work, the kind of films that he produced is wonderful, and I think very worthy of this award.
Shashi Kapoor acted in over 175 films in the 1950s, 60s, 70s and mid-80s. Some of his memorable films include Diwar, Kabhi Kabhi, Namak Halal, Kala Patthar, Satyam Shivam Sundaram and others. He was also honoured with the Padma Bhushan in 2011. He follows his father Prithvi Raj Kapoor and elder brother Raj Kapoor in getting the Phalke Award. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now all the sporting action in Sports Beat. Second seed Annie Murray defeated Kei Nishikori in straight sets in the semi-final of the Madrid Masters to book a place in today's final. Now Murray produced an aggressive display to dispatch the fourth-seeded 6-3, 6-4 and will meet Rafael Nadal in the final later today. In the women's final, Petra Kvitova beat Svetlana Kuznetsova 6-1, 6-2 in a one-sided final to take her second Madrid Open title. Kvitova, who defeated world number 1 Serena Williams in the semis, produced another strong performance against a struggling Kuznetsova who was hampered by a thigh problem. Asafa Powell ran the fastest 100 meters in the world this year, clocking 9.84 seconds at the Jamaica International Invitational in Kingston. The former world record holder who served a drugs ban last year beat American Ryan Bailey and fellow Jamaican Nesta Carter. Now, this was Powell's best time in 5 years. Barcelona moved within one victory of the La Liga title after they beat Real Sociedad 2-0 in the Saturday's encounter. Barca scored in both the goals in the second half through Neymar and substitute Pedro. With the 2 games remaining, Barcelona are now 4 points clear of Real Madrid, who drew with Valencia 2-2 at Santiago Bernabeu. Well, that's all that we could pack for you in this half-hour edition of News Tonight. Thanks for watching. Good night.